Your Shopsmith may last forever, but the switch on it won't. The electrical switch is a component that wears out with regularity, not only from the fact that you use it every time you use the Shopsmith, but there's some electrical arcing that goes on across the poles, and even worse than that, sawdust, especially the extractives that are in sawdust wood fibers, are slight abrasive, and these wear away the working parts of something like a switch. We get a lot of questions about replacing switches on Mark V's, and how you do this depends upon when your Mark V was made. Over the years, we've used two different types of switches. Older Mark V's use this toggle switch here. I'm going to take this into the close-up camera. There we go. They used a straight toggle switch. The newer Mark V's used a rocker switch like this, with a little detachable toggle so that you could lock the switch and not have children playing with it. Both switches have 4 tabs on the back side, and they're both single throw double pull switches. Now, what I mean by that is when you throw the switch, it makes contact between these 2 tabs and these 2 tabs. That's your double pull. This rocker switch, as you can see, same thing, 4 tabs on the back, and it is also single throw double pull switch. How you get these out of the headstock and wire them up is little different for each one, and I'm going to show you. The older Mark V's with the toggle switch, you have to take off the switch and push it straight through the casting. On the newer Mark V's with the rocker arm switch, the switch comes out of the casting. In both cases, we need to get into the back of the Mark V first. Now here you can see the back. This is actually a cutaway that we have for demonstration purposes, and I chose this so that you could actually see the wiring that's in there before I take it apart. Now on this Mark V, we have the nameplate. We'll go to the wider angle. Now the old nameplates have a spring on the back, which you sort of pry the nameplate off. On the newer ones, you just take off this screw and put it someplace where you'll be sure to be able to lose it, and swing the nameplate up and out of the way. This allows you to reach inside. Now I shouldn't have to tell you this, but I will just in case. Be sure at this point, with the Mark V open, that you are unplugged. Well, you don't want to reach in here and fool with the wires if they're live. To take the toggle switch off, you need a 9/16 inch deep well socket, and you just put this over the nut on the socket. Find a place where it engages. It's a very, very shallow nut, so you've got to get this just right. There we go. Once you loosen it, just turn it off all the way. Take the nut off the barrel. Need a little help here. There we go. Put that somewhere where you can find it again. Behind that nut, there will be a washer. Keep the washer. You'll need this washer. Whoa! Okay. there we go. Then you simply pull the switch out of the casting through the nameplate hole. Let's pretend that the nameplate hole is here. There will probably be a paper insulator on it. Sometimes there is, sometimes there not. This paper insulator is held to the switch by a nut on the back of the switch. Just loosen that nut. And the paper insulator comes off. Now, when you buy a new switch, you'll get a new one. You'll get a new one of these. All right, switch is out. Let's go over to the newer Shopsmith. Here, it's a little bit easier. Okay, there we go. Sorry guys, live TV. Sometimes I go in and out of camera. The switch is actually set in the casting, and there's a couple of clips that hold it. The easiest way to get it out is to take a piece of wood like this and put it back through the nameplate against the switch. Sort of have to feel around for that switch there. And when you find it, push on it. The bottom will come up first. Then you can rock it. Keep pushing a little bit more. Sometimes it helps to have a screwdriver to do a little prying. And eventually, the switch will come out. You'll probably have to bend these two plastic tabs that are on it. I'll try to turn the switch so that you can see it. Here are the plastic tabs. You'll probably have to bend those backwards. Now, notice that this switch has two wires attached to it. And let's go back to a minute to the older switch. This has 4 wires attached to it. There are actually 3 different ways that your Mark V may be wired depending on its age. Pre-Shopsmith wiring included putting two wires from the motor up here and the 2 wires from the power cord down here, but they were flopped from what this shows right now. On the later Shopsmiths, the ones that were built by Shopsmith from 1976 on, where we used this toggle switch, we brought the white wire from the motor and put it on the upper right tab. The white cord from the power cord goes on the lower right. The blue from the motor goes on the top left, and the black from the power cord goes on the bottom left for these. Now let's switch over to the new one. And you can see, let's come in close on that. All you have is the blue from the motor and the black from the power cord. The 2 whites are actually married together inside the headstock. You don't have to worry about those at all. And here's a little tip: when you buy these switches, okay, and you see that, like I said, these are double pull, double throw. It may be that when I didn't mean when you buy the switches. When the switch goes out on you, it may be that all you have to do is take it out of the headstock and switch it over to the other poles, and it will still work just fine. As long as the switch isn't completely discombobulated on the inside. Something to try before you spend good money. At any rate, one of the first thing you want to do before you pull those wires off is make a sketch. Where does the blue wire go? Where do the black wires go? Where do the white wires go? If there are any other colors of wires, be sure to note them and make a sketch. Then, since we're right here at the new one, I've got the replacement right here. Just simply take a wire off and put it on the corresponding tab on the new switch. There we go. Take a wire off, put it on the corresponding tab. That's all that's all there is to that. And then, this is for the new switch. Just put it back in the casting and press it home. There we go. Of course, last thing to do is the nameplate, right? On this, we're going to do the same thing. Let's first of all, let's take our paper insulator, and the paper insulator goes on the post of the toggle switch, and you take the knurled nut and you put that on the post and finger tighten it down so that it holds the paper in place. You want the paper to wrap over the top of the switch, the part of the switch where there are no tabs. You want it to wrap like that. Now we're going to hold both these switches up, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take a wire off one tab and put it on the corresponding tab on the new switch. Take it off a tab, corresponding tab. And the last one is always the hardest. There you go. That's it. Now the switch is ready to put back inside the headstock. Make sure that knurled nut is tight there. Put the post back in the hole. I'm going to hold that there and turn this around so you can see what happens next. There we go. Put the washer on. And then put the nut over the washer. And thread the nut onto the post. And this job, because the two metal casted wings there are in your way, this will take the patience of a saint, unless you have extremely small fingers or somehow can do psychokinesis. That's funny. The last time I did this, believe it or not, folks, the last time I did this, it just went right on. There we go. Get that finger tight. Take that 9/16 inch socket, tighten it up a little bit more. You want this tight enough that the switch is not going to turn on you, but you don't want to tighten it so much that you actually break a part of the switch. Kind of have a feel for your materials here. That's about right there. Okay, last thing to do on this one is tuck the paper in. Take the paper, bend it down, pick a wire, probably one of the white wires on the back, pull it through the holes so that it keeps the paper there. You can also do that. I'm going to do that with the black wire also on the other hole. basically what you want to do is you want to choose a wire that is going to serve as a keeper, to keep that paper out of the way, and also to keep the wires out of the machinery. But there it is. That'll serve just fine. The quill's not going to interfere with that, and neither will the drive mechanism. So that's it. Replace the nameplates, and you're off and running again. If there are any questions, get in touch with us. We'll be glad to answer you.